Hi, Pastor Paul here. It's the Monday after Easter, and for a short period of time in the early church, sometimes Christians would get together in the Monday after Easter and tell jokes, celebrating the big joke that God played on Satan when Jesus rose from the dead. It's hard to find good jokes these days. Lawrence Althouse tells the story of many years when he was working in a suburban New York church and he was asked to take part in an ecumenical Easter dawn pageant held at the Bronx River Parkway. 5:15 a.m. He's driving down the parkway, maybe a little too fast, and that's why the police pulled him over. He says, "I was in a costume of an angel, complete with wings and halo, when the officer walked towards me and looked in the window, thought his eyes were going to pop out. He regained composure and asked, 'Do you have any idea how fast you were going?' And I told him I didn't, but that I really had to hurry because I've got to get to the resurrection on time." And the officer stared at him, his face clouded over, and he blurted out, "Just go, just go." And he did. A lot of jokes tend to be pretty bad in terms of the Christian church. I mean, this one I just comes up every Easter, and I still don't understand it. For Easter services, we will ask Mrs. Brown to come forward and lay an egg on the altar. I know we're supposed to think it's funny because Mrs. Brown doesn't normally lay eggs, but why would she ever even put an egg on the altar? 40 years of ministry, I've never seen anybody put an egg on an altar. Or there's this one. The boss looks at the employee and says, "Son, do you believe in the life after death?" And the employee said, "Yes, sir." "Then that makes everything fine," his boss continued tenderly, "because about an hour after you left yesterday saying you were going to your grandfather's funeral, your grandfather came in to see you." Well, humor is not something we usually think about with Jesus, I suppose. There's been several attempts over the years. Richard Jewell, I think, was one of the first to try to create a laughing Jesus. Certainly all those years, there must have been lots of times to laugh. Somehow I always think it's a little more discreet laugh like that, but I'm sure he belly laughed now and then. The joy of the Lord is our strength, and in times like this, we need strength. So take a few moments and enjoy the humor of life. I'll talk to you tomorrow.